Welcome to 9 Seconds class, the long form cut, where we slow down just enough to actually get it. Today's big question is one we all use every day but rarely stop to think about. Why does money exist, and where is it going? In 10 lessons, we'll go from the very beginning, a world with no money at all the way to crypto and digital currencies. We'll cover the flaw in barter, the 3 jobs money does, what makes good money, how we went from seashells to gold to paper, why your money isn't backed by gold anymore, how banks quietly create money, why inflation eats your savings, and what comes next. No jargon, no buzzword bingo. Grab a coffee and let's get into it. Chapter 1. Why does money even exist? To see the problem money solves, imagine a world without it. Everyone has to barter, trade goods directly. You're a baker and you want a new pair of shoes. So you walk over to the cobbler. But here's the catch. The cobbler has to actually want bread. If he just had lunch, there's no deal. You're stuck. Now multiply that across an entire economy, and trade grinds to a halt. Money is the invention that fixes this. It's a thing everyone agrees to accept, so you never need a perfect match again. That's why economists call money one of humanity's greatest hacks. Next, let's name that barter problem properly. Chapter 2. The fatal flaw in barter. Economists have a name for the baker and cobbler problem, the double coincidence of wants. For a barter trade to happen, I have to want what you have, and you have to want what I have, at the exact same time. Picture it. You've got fresh eggs, and you want a chair. But the carpenter? He's allergic to eggs. No trade. The bigger and more specialized an economy gets, the more impossible these matches become. Money breaks the deadlock. You sell your eggs to anyone, for money, then use that money to buy the chair. One side of the trade no longer has to match. That single idea is why money beats barter every time. Next, what money actually does once you have it. Chapter 3. The 3 jobs of money. Money isn't just for buying things. It quietly does 3 jobs at once. First, it's a medium of exchange, a thing everyone accepts, so trade is easy. Second, it's a store of value. You can earn it today and spend it next year, and it still holds worth. Third, it's a unit of account, a shared measuring stick that lets us put a price on everything, from a coffee to a house. When something does all 3 well, we call it money. When it does them badly, say it rots, or its value swings wildly, it stops working as money. Keep those 3 jobs in mind, because they explain everything that follows. Next, what makes some things better money than others? Chapter 4. What makes good money? Here's a fun question. Why did gold become money, but tomatoes never did? It comes down to a handful of properties. Good money is durable, so it doesn't rot or rust. It's portable, so you can carry real value in your pocket. It's divisible, so you can split it for small purchases and make change. It's scarce, so it can't be faked or produced endlessly. And it's easy to verify, so people trust it at a glance. Gold ticks every box. Tomatoes? They rot in a week, you can't make change, and anyone with a garden can print more. The better something scores on these traits, the better it works as money. Next, the surprising things humans have actually used as money. Chapter 5. From seashells to gold. Across history, humans have used some genuinely strange money. Cattle were among the earliest. The word pecuniary, meaning financial, comes from the Latin for cattle. Cowrie shells were used across Africa and Asia for centuries. Roman soldiers were sometimes paid in salt. That's where the word salary comes from. The pattern is always the same. Whatever was rare, durable, and widely trusted became the money of its time. Eventually, gold and silver won out almost everywhere. They were scarce, didn't corrode, and could be split into coins of reliable weight. Precious metals became the world's money, not by decree, but because they simply did the job best. Next, how we went from heavy metal coins to lightweight paper. Chapter 6. Paper Money and the Leap of Trust. Gold is great money, but it has a real downside. It's heavy, and carrying a fortune around makes you a target. So a clever solution appeared. You'd deposit your gold with a trusted goldsmith or bank, and they'd hand you a paper note that said, "This is worth so much gold, redeemable any time." That note was an IOU, a paper claim on real metal sitting in a vault. It was lighter, safer, and far easier to spend. And here's the key shift. People started trading the notes themselves, instead of bothering to redeem the gold. The paper became the money. That was the first big step toward the cash in your wallet today. Next, what happened when the gold behind the paper disappeared? Chapter 7. The Rise of Fiat Money. For a long time, paper money was still a promise. You could, in theory, swap your notes for gold. Currencies were pegged to gold under what was called the gold standard. Then came 1971. Facing mounting pressure, the United States ended the dollar's convertibility into gold. A move so big it's simply called the Nixon shock. Just like that, the world shifted to fiat money. Fiat is Latin for let it be done. It means money that has value because a government says it does, and because we all agree to accept it. It isn't backed by metal, it's backed by trust and law. That sounds fragile, but it's how nearly every currency on Earth works today. Next, a twist that surprises almost everyone, where new money actually comes from. Chapter 8. How banks create money. Quick question: who makes money? You probably pictured a government printing press. But here's the twist: most money is never printed at all. It's created by ordinary banks as digital entries every time they make a loan. Watch how it works. You deposit $100. The bank is only required to keep a small fraction in reserve, so it lends out, say, 90 of it. That 90 gets spent and deposited in another bank, which lends out most of it again. Round and round it goes, and your original $100 ends up supporting many times that amount across the economy. This is called fractional reserve banking, and it means the vast majority of money exists only as numbers in a database. Banks don't just store money, they create it. Next, why all that money makes your savings shrink. Chapter 9. Why inflation happens. Ever notice how the same groceries cost more every year? That's inflation. And now you've got the tools to actually understand it. Think back to what money really is: a claim on real goods and services. If the amount of money in an economy grows faster than the actual stuff you can buy with it, then each unit of money is chasing a slice of the same pie. So prices rise. Picture it simply. If the money supply doubled overnight, but the number of loaves of bread stayed the same, a loaf that cost $1 would soon cost $2. The bread didn't change. The money did. A little inflation is normal, and even healthy. Too much, and your savings quietly lose their value. That's the hidden cost baked into how modern money works. Next, where money goes from here. Chapter 10. The Future of Money. We started this story with cattle and seashells, so where does it end? Cash is already fading. In many countries, most payments are now just a tap of a phone or a card, and the physical notes barely move. The next chapter is fully digital. Stablecoins are digital tokens pegged to a currency like the dollar. Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin offer money with no central issuer at all. And central banks are now building their own digital currencies. Programmable money that could settle payments instantly, anywhere in the world. Money has always evolved to fit its era, from shells to gold, to paper, to trust, and now to code. The form keeps changing, but the job stays the same: letting strangers trade without needing a perfect match. And that, in 10 lessons, is the whole story of money. And that's the whole picture. From a world of pure barter all the way to programmable digital money. If this finally made money click for you, do the 3 things that genuinely help this channel. Drop a comment with the one lesson that surprised you most. Hit like so the algorithm shares it with the next curious person, and send it to that one friend who still thinks money is just paper. Follow 9 Seconds Class on YouTube and Instagram for a new lesson every single day. Now go look at the cash in your pocket a little differently. See you in the next one.